does that affect us? Another consciousness. Does that have any effect on us? Huh? Another does it?
Yeah. No.
Somebody is very stressful, stressed out, and they come, oh, this, and they say, all right, you know. We try to get away from them as soon as possible, or whatever. We try to calm them down. And if someone is very peaceful, we'll feel very peaceful with them. Whatever their consciousness is, it will affect us. So there's more than just the senses that are involved in our life. Consciousness is actually the seat or the center of our experiences, of our environment. And not only the environment, but also the consciousness of others that are there.
Good job.
And what happens when we meet Guru? What kind of consciousness does Guru have? And how does that affect us? Well, there's two sides to that story, because, it depends on our consciousness as well as the consciousness of the person we're in contact with. And not that it's only a one-way street.
No.
It's a relationship. Some people are trained to work with stressful people, and they know how to behave in a way that reduces their stress rather than increases it. So, in the same thing in meeting Guru, we have to be prepared ourselves to be able to understand what is Guru, what is the heart, what is the consciousness of Guru, what is that being represented by Guru Dev, what consciousness is he representing. So there's something called Guru Parampara. That means something like, in the Catholic Church they have the papal succession, one pope after the other.
No.
Not exactly like that, because they do it by election. Guru Parampara is one guru after another coming down from the original creation of the universe. There's the first person, Brahma, and there's his disciples, and so forth and so on after that, down to the present day. And it is the transmission of consciousness from one to another, basically.
Okay.
So that consciousness that we are getting from Guru, or that we can become aware of in Guru, is coming down from a very long chain of Gurus. And that's the process of becoming Guru, or being a Guru, or a qualification of the Guru in the next line of succession, is how much his or her consciousness has been influenced by the predecessor Guru. And then whatever is there, we can get that also, if we're properly receptive to that. So that's how Guru Parampara works. And therefore there's a very ancient knowledge. And it's said to reach into the primordial self, the primordial consciousness. And as pure as that line is, that to that extent our purity will also, that purity will affect us, and how purely we receive that will all determine what type of influence it has on us and how it will affect our own development of consciousness. But this process of associating with Guru or Sadhu, here we call this Sadhu Sangha. A meeting of Sadhu Sangha means meeting, coming together. Sang, like conference. Conference means to come together and talk with one another. So Sangha is like that. But it's a Sangha means like an association. It's more than just a meeting together of bodies or brains. It's a meeting of the hearts, of the consciousness. Where our consciousness is being cultivated, nurtured, developed. sadhu sangha.
That's true.
So we look forward to that type of meeting with the sadhus, because in that meeting, actually something happens to us spiritually. Our spiritual identity awakens, is nurtured, and can awaken in a gradual, step-by-step process. We have to, on our side, we have to eliminate from our hearts worldly things, try to understand the spiritual nature of our lives, and not only hang on to the worldly things. And Gurudev helps us with that also. The instructions of the previous spiritual masters, like we sing, when we sing these prayers, we're talking about all these historical persons actually, who have participated in this process of Sangha, and learned from their previous Acharyas, previous Gurus. They're very splendid type of people. You hear the glorious, flowery words that he used to describe them, because they did give that kind of a noble, elevated type of consciousness to us. So we don't have even the proper words sometimes to express how sublime they are. That element is there, trying to explain that sublimity. And we don't think these are just, historical people, just like everyone else in history. They are special. They teach us this special, and awaken within us that special quality of consciousness that we call transcendental or spiritual. And that is imbued with love, transcendental or divine love. That consists of humility and knowledge. And knowledge, but not knowledge like you go to a professor in the school. They also have some knowledge. But this knowledge is of transcendental nature, of that which is beyond the world, beyond the worldly existence. There is such a place. And we have to learn about that from hearing Vani, from the words of Guru, which are imbued with meaning. Every word has a meaning that associated with it. When we say a word, it's not just a sound. There's a meaning behind that word. There's a meaning behind the sound. And that is something more very important. That has to be conveyed. And that is the process of developing Divya Gyan. Here it mentions Divya Gyan Ride Prakashita. Divya Gyan Ride Prakashita. Manifest divine knowledge in my heart. Divya Gyan. Divya means divine. Divya Gyan. Gyan means knowledge. Divya Gyan. Hriday. Hriday means heart. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashita. How do you put knowledge in someone's heart? Their brains usually try to remember so many things from, go to become a businessman or an English professor or whatever you want to become. That's for the brain. But this heart, how to make it part of the heart, that is the Divya Gyan. And the process of Divya Gyan, from heart to heart, like Rasaraj Prabhu was saying. And not an intellectual thing. But a heart transference. And that's, if we can catch it there, we can catch what's being said at that level, then one is a proper candidate. Proper candidate for making spiritual progress. Oh, that's why we give so much importance to Guru. Most people say, I don't need a Guru. I can do it on my own. I know God, and why should I go to somebody else to learn about God? And they're not the same. Everyone has a particular consciousness. It's been formed by those around them as well as their own behavior, no attitude. But until we meet someone of that caliber of parampara who is falling in the line of the primordial knowledge, then we may not be able to understand properly or develop the proper conception. I carefully offer my obeisances unto Guru. We shouldn't take it lightly, carefully. Everything in spiritual life should be done very carefully, intelligently, and with full awareness. And then we'll catch the essence. Otherwise, we may not be able to get it. Even after many years of practicing devotion, if we don't have that careful approach, trying to understand properly, we may not get it. So humility is a very important quality in spiritual life. And the main difficulties of material life is our lack of humility, where we think ourselves the master or the Lord of the universe, rather than that there is an actual Lord of the universe already, and he doesn't need your help. He wants your love only, cooperation.